On you.
Welcome back to Shop Talk. I'm Wes. This is Seth, one of the co-founders of Shield Arms, and we're here today to talk to you about a very exciting new product and product line and service that we have. The S10 magazine. So we took our original S15, we chopped it down a little bit. But what gun does this fit in, you might ask? Seth.
It fits in a 43X 48 that we have modified the frame on. Essentially what we're doing is we're taking a Glock 43X 48, chopping the grip down from 15 rounds to 10 rounds. So you're getting a small, tiny little package. The idea behind the grip chop with the 10 round magazine, the modification, is that it gives you essentially a limitless option in between the smallest carry that you want all the way down to, I mean, if you look at the package here, this is essentially on par with or slightly shorter than the 43X. So if you look at these in tandem, it's actually a smaller package than the 8 round in a 43. So that is your deep conceal all the way down from a day-to-day carry. Most people are liking the +2. It gives you kind of that medium size where you can get a pinky on it. That's the configuration that I generally carry. The S15s, we have sort of a frame spacer that takes up the space to return it to your S15 form factor. And then the same thing all the way up to an S15 +10 where you've got lots of rounds.
So why did the 43 not have more rounds in a shorter package than the S10?
So we get that question a lot. Why can't you just use the S15 and 43? Aren't they the same gun?
Why can't you just put it in there?
These are now the same gun because you chopped it down. Well, the difference is in the magazine width. So you can see from the magazines, also looking at the frames on the pistols, these are not the same width, obviously. So what that means is the 43 Z9, Z8 magazines are essentially a stack and a half kind of configuration, whereas the S15 line is a full double stack. So you're able to fit rounds closer in the stack, which makes the entire package shorter.
So what you're saying is when you asked me to solve quantum physics, I was unable to do that.
Carry the two, changing its atomic isotoner into a radioactive spider. F you, science.
Even we are unable to go that far.
Yeah. So this isn't a stupid thing to do, right?
If you go on the internet, you're probably going to hear people say this is the dumbest thing ever, and that essentially creates it just turns a 43X into a 43. If they want to do this, they'll carry a 43. Well, those people, if they're happy with what they have, great. If you're carrying a 43 8-round magazine, you've got some bullets. This is more bullets. If you look at the size, the 10 rounds is actually slightly smaller. It's about...
Can we spell this out for people? More bullets, more better.
I mean, that's essentially the end of the day. So the question of, well, isn't it the same thing? This is dumb, it's a 43 now, I'll just go buy a 43. It's like, well, your maximum reload for a 43 with a +3, you're looking at 12 rounds. So 12 rounds puts you in this configuration right here. So this is the max reload that you have. I can carry this gun with 12 rounds, and it's quite a bit smaller than even the +1. So if you go to a +3 size, the form factor, you're really looking at a pretty dramatic difference here.
Big difference.
And then I have the ability to carry something like a 25 round reload that's low vis, and then if I need it, once again, this isn't most of your guys that are concealed carrying. If you're living in, you know, Portland or Detroit, maybe this might be for you. So
one more question: how are we doing this? Do we have, you know, Billy Bob with the gap teeth in the back with a hacksaw, or how are we doing this?
I wouldn't say anything about that. So we are doing a grip modification service. You send your gun in, it's programmed into a CNC machine. That's going to come in a configuration like this. So it's going to come with magazines, grip chop service, and then this Magwell. The idea behind the Magwell is it cleans everything up, makes it a little bit easier for reloads with these tiny little magazines, but then it's still comfortable enough to be able to run a longer configuration without this being a really annoying kind of grip.
Yeah.
So
you also get a little bit of a flare forward, so People are often worried about the muzzle flip or the recoil or whatever you want to call it, but with that little bit of step forward, it helps you control it just that much more.
Quick touch on the Magwell. We've had some people ask if they can convert their existing carrier premium Magwells or an other company. The answer is no, because we modified the grip. You lose the connection point on the front. So this requires a specific cut and then is pinned from the back versus the plug in the bottom. So it's a different system, not cross-compatible.
And are we going to truly destroy your firearm and then send it back to you?
We will
inoperable?
not destroy your firearm.
Okay.
That is a guarantee. It is not returnable to its original form. I feel like I need to say that. If it gets chopped down, we are not going to replace that if you just decide you don't like it. So it's going to come in this configuration. As long as it's to our specs, that's what you get.
And if you would decide to take up the Dremel tool and do this on your own, which you can do,
You are
it's a
on
free
your
country,
own. You are
allegedly.
on your own.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
That's up to you. How do you get your firearm to us? Do you have to go to an FFL and sign the papers and do the whole thing, or what do you have to do?
All right, so you can send us your firearm depending on states, local laws. I think most of the shippers require you to go through a FFL. So you will ship us your gun. You look on the website, we'll give you turnaround times for how far out we are on that process. We will take it, modify it, put the Magwell on it, ship it back to you in this configuration with magazines, and voila. So just to kind of reiterate what we're talking about with this whole system, this is 10 rounds, so this would be legal in most states. This is 10 rounds, also legal in most states.
Most.
It's a pretty dramatic difference. And for follow-on, you've got 12 rounds, biggest mag that I'm aware of for a 43, up to 25 rounds. So this is a pretty dramatic difference. All the people that are saying, well, why? It doesn't make sense. I don't know, this doesn't make any money, whatever. This is why you have a tiny little package that you can concealed carry, and then you have the availability to carry in a standard configuration all the way up to mucho bullets. So that's why.
Mucho Bullets-o. All these things are available on shieldarms.com today. Sign up. You get your grip chop service, and you can add on each of these accessories in little drop downs below it. So it should be pretty straightforward. Check it out.
Except for this one.
Except for that one. That one's
And
still not.
maybe those ones.
That one's still not ready.